Hi, I'm Coach Mike Shad from Temple University, and I'm the offensive line coach here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pass blocking technique, pass blocking form, proper use of the hands in wired position, taking combos, switching, a whole variety of exciting things about offensive football. Today, helping us on our video is Dave Jovanovich, who's our offensive tackle, playing left tackle here for us at Temple, and Donnie Klein, our center. Both guys are just starting out in their first year. They had excellent freshman seasons, and we're going to try and bring them along and have them help us out in the video today. We're going to break this video down into certain segments, and the first part of this segment is going to discuss the simple stuff like the stance, the proper foot position, where the knees and the hip placement should be, how to punch with the hands. We're going to evolve this into actually dynamic movement of getting in your set, showing the numbers, getting in a proper wired position, and ultimately getting to punching the individual in a pass set. Then we're going to work with combination blocks, how to take on switches, and then we're going to evolve this right into the very end of this video of getting out and running some drills, how to improve your foot speed, drills that you can take home, do anytime you like as a football player or as a coach, and instruct your players on how to break correctly, how to set correctly, little drills that they can do in the summer, little drills they can do before practice, and drills that a coach can do during the season. First thing we're going to do is break down the individual body parts of an offensive pass blocker. And this is what I refer to, and many coaches refer to, as what's called the wired position. The wired position is a position that an offensive lineman has and stays in through the entire pass blocking phase after the snap of the ball. And we're going to start this off in a basic two-point stance. In this two-point stance, we're going to try and keep about a toe to heel relationship. And what we're actually trying to do is develop flexion with our ankles, our knees, and our hips. And what we're going to try and do is drive our hips forward, keep our center of gravity as low as we can, try to keep our feet as flat as possible on the ground, and keep our hands in the ready contact position. Go ahead, Donnie, try that. Okay, you can see Donnie here, he's got a pretty good ankle-knee flexion. Try and get his shoulders a little back. His hands are in the ready position. Now, it's a pretty awkward position, and it's a very difficult thing in pass blocking football to say, hey, where do I develop my strength? How do I take on a defensive pass rusher who's actually got a full head of steam going forward, and I'm trying to go backwards and I'm trying to stop him and protect the passer? Well, that's the things we're going to discuss a little bit later in the video, but in this initial part, what we're actually going to initially talk about is just the position. Now, the toes sort of want to be straight. I like to call that straight because I like to work off of this part of the foot right here, not the toes, but from the ball of the foot to the heel. This area needs to be flat. I find if you're too heavy on the toe of your foot, you're tempted to fall forward. If you're too heavy on the heel, you're tempted to work off the heel. And the heel isn't a good working position because it's unstable and it tends to open up your hips. And you don't want your hips to open up because this hip area is where you're getting all your strength in football. Any combatant sport, you're getting your strength from your hip area. The hip area provides a punch. A boxer would follow through with a hip rotation to make a strong punch, or in karate, and in pass blocking, the punch comes from here. Back to the wired position. The wired position, shoulders, as you can see, Donnie's got his numbers showing here. His knees are flexed. He's ready now to take on somebody. He's got his hands in a ready position. And these hands are a very important thing. A lot of times you want to initially coach to shorten the area and keep your hand strike area out here. As the offensive lineman gets better, we can shorten that strike area into here. This way it times his punch, and it doesn't allow defensive linemen to come in here and grab his hands. But initially start your young guys off with their hands out here, and that shortens the target area. All right, here we have Dave again in the wired position. You can see Dave's elbows are in tight. The elbows should be in tight because the power it's generated is in from the hands. And we'll talk a little bit about the punch in a bit. Dave's head, and try and get the chin actually tucked a little in. The chin out tends to allow your body to lean forward. The body will go where the head goes. So if the head's leaning forward, the head will go with it. Now, if you actually have this kind of position ready to engage, you're in a pretty good stance. I'd like to get this heel a little bit down. Maybe down to the ground. That'd be a little bit better. and get the shoulders a little bit out. And this is, once again, we call the wired position. Now, this is a very funny position to be in initially, but you get used to it as an offensive lineman, and the more you can keep your lineman in this position, the better off you'll be. The actual movement, when Donnie moves, is from this area down here. The upper body shouldn't move. The only thing that's going to move is a punching of the hands and being in front. But this area here doesn't move. The actual movement of the area, when I'm in the wired position, you can see the base doesn't change. I want to be able to move in this position. This is what we call a kick and a power step. All right? See how my feet don't come together? I can do this quick, I can do it slow, I can set back straight. My foot position doesn't change. Now that we've seen how to move on the football field, let's talk about the actual punch. And a lot of this I've gained through years of experience, and I've gained through years of taking karate. And what karate has actually taught me to do is how to relax the hands. You see a lot of football players who are real tight. And the tighter you are in a wired position, in this position, the slower the hands move. And your hands become part of the body. Your hands got to be loose. And it's just like those old Muhammad Ali boxing matches where Muhammad Ali just used to be loose. But when he punched, it was tight for that 1 second and it had the power in it. Then he was released and brought it back. The same thing about pass blocking in football. You got to keep your hands loose in this position. And they move independently of the rest of your body here. Now, the hand's a funny thing, and what we're going to do is we're going to teach you some years of experience of playing pro football on how to pass block. And a lot of people have different philosophies on how to pass block, but what I've gained and the success I've had is based upon a few tricks, really. But first of all, let's break down the hand. The hand has basically the fingers, the palm of the hand, and the rest of the arm. This area here, the hardest part of your hand, the heel of your hand, is the strike area. And what I actually want to do is punch in this position with the heel of the hand. And you can see as I punch, I've got my thumb up. Always want to punch with your thumb up. And what you want to do is you want to punch the same time with your thumbs up. And this area delivers the blow. And what this area is trying to do is deliver a blow, stop the defensive lineman, and make him restart. That's the key thing about the initial punch. And it's like a trigger of a hammer on a gun. Boom, it's in there, it's quick, it's in there. People who lay their hands in there slow are more apt to get their wrist grabbed, their hands swatted. They can work, but you've got to choose your moment of time and punch. All right, what we're going to do here is we're just going to exhibit the punch. And as you can see here, the punch with the heel of the hands. And just watch Dave strike. So I want you to palm strike, I want you to grab. Here we go. Now look at this position here. He struck with the heel of his hand. Let's look at the rest of the arm here real quick. This area is locked out and extended. He's still in the wired position. Now let's take a look at the hand real close. He's heel struck with the hand, and then he's grabbed. And that's one thing people do not understand about pass blocking. You're allowed to grab in offensive pass blocking if you do it within the frame here. I'd even get his hands a little closer in here. Once you get outside of the frame, if Dave grabs up here or in the back of the shoulder here, this is offensive holding. But if he goes to the position he's been coached to inside, it's not holding. And that's one thing people don't understand in pass blocking football. A lot of people get in there, punch, reset, punch, reset, punch, reset. Why would you want to give up your initial inside position and give it up to punch and reset when he's already gained that? And that's the whole key thing. So let's go from the very beginning here again, and we'll break this down in slow motion. And then we'll do a few quick ones. Just step into him, Donnie, and when he's in his punch zone, punch, he'll punch and just lock onto you. Here we go, down, set, hut. Okay, he's come to, see how Dave too on his punch has timed it. He's not catching and bench pressing. Try it again here, guys, and show the catching and then bench press him off, and just exhibit that in the camera. Down, set, hut. See, that is a catch and bench press. Now, Donnie, as a defender here, can actually grab this shoulder area here. If I'm coming in here, show that again and show Donnie grab his shoulder because you've closed the area. Here we go. Down, set, hut. Now bench press him off. See, if he catches, come back to the camera here, guys. If he catches and I'm pass blocking in here, come on into me, and I'm in this area, he grabs me. Then I have to bench press him, but he's already got me, or he has the ability to get close to me. What a defender is primarily trying to do as rushing the pass rusher, he's trying to get to the hip position here. If he beats me on my hip, I'm in trouble. And as an offensive lineman, What your job is to do is make sure you come into him, lock out, and keep him off your hip. From this area, he can't work off my hip. He's got problems. If I had the proper football equipment on, he'd have a problem grabbing me. But if I'm in this position, he can grab me, then he's got me. All right, I want to be able to time my punch so that he comes into me, that I got full extension and lockout before he can grab me. This is this thing that you often do that kids have a problem with, is teaching the punch. And what I like to do is tell them to go home and punch the wall 25 times. This doesn't mean go home, punch some holes in your wall and your mom getting all after you. What this is talking about is going at home and just sitting in front of the wall and discovering what your distance is to the wall. Now, if I'm punching here, I'm too close. If I'm punching here and have to lean, I'm too far. So I'm learning my punch zone. And even though I haven't done this a while, go ahead, I still know my punch zone. I can sit in front of the wall at night and just figure out my punch zone. And when you figure that out and you develop that confidence in your punch, keeping your shoulders out of there, your chin tucked, your arms locked out, you're on your way to becoming a better pass blocker.